Hey guys, Max here. This is the DSSP KSC 5+3 Blitz Arena. It happens daily at 5 o'clock Swiss time. That's Central European time. Central European summertime now, isn't it? So, in case you don't know, this is just part of a series where I like to record myself playing in Blitz arenas and talk through my moves and try and make sense of them in a logical way, not only for you, but for me as well. Hopefully through this media I can help improve my thought process and my speed as well at that thought process, which is something I'll be working on today because I didn't do too well with that last time. We almost ran out of time in a few games and got very lucky with our opponents. In case you guys don't know, the DSSP also holds a bi-monthly chess tournament on lichess.org. If you are a Swiss resident, you can sign up for it on either dssp.ch or ssb.ch. That's the Swiss Chess Federation website. They were the first chess club to hold an online tournament after the coronavirus epidemic, given that all the normal tournaments were shut down. And it's very useful. It lets you keep practicing, even though your FIDE score or your SSB score aren't altered. You do get to practice, and then next qualifications tournament or tour that you play in, you'll hopefully be able to outplay everyone who was not practicing over the corona-induced break. Our biggest contester looks like JJJ3000. A very high score of 1753, and that's a non-provisional score, which means they didn't just win a couple of games against bad opponents. It means that they've been there for a long time. Unfortunately, since we are in second place, score-wise, we'll probably be playing against them our first game. Let's see if we can get a victory. Maybe not. I don't pretend to be a good player, but I just like to be a chess player. Enjoy the game for what it is. Oh no, we're playing against the third place player, Charlie Twister. I'll play the Sicilian. Most opponents at this level, around 1400, don't know the main lines of the Sicilian, except for Charlie Twister, apparently. Ooh, okay. I don't know if that's right. Bishop d7 looks like it just defends. Now, do I want to take back with the pawn or the bishop? I think the pawn. That gains a tempo on the enemy's bishop. Just developing my knight. I think I'll be looking to fianchetto my bishop, maybe? I could go for this, but then I have a backwards pawn here. Yeah, I think fianchettoing is the better idea. That way I keep this pawn nice and healthy. Right, we're into the middle game. I think I'm going to stop here and look for some imbalances. I have more central pawns, although my opponent is pushed up, and this pawn could come to assist if need be. Because of my majority of in the center, I should probably try to activate it. That's a d5, however, allows for e4. Kicking my knight out, I probably don't want that. First I should maybe start with c5, activate my bishop, That looks good, because now we have a pin on the pawn if we activate our bishop through here. Our opponent's attacking our knight. We are defending it thrice, and they are only attacking it 3 times as well, so if they take, that would just be an exchange. We wouldn't lose any material. I think I can go for bishop c6 here. Sad thing is I can't play e6 in this position. They could trade here, which would, oh yeah, which gives me 3 pawn islands now. Their pawn here is still pinned to the queen though. So I can do this, getting rid of my double pawns, taking out one of their central pawns. I'll just trade. Now, I think I'll trade those as well. You look for imbalances, there aren't many. I have 3 pawn islands, whereas my opponent only has these 2. Try and develop my queen. Maybe I should try and attack these pawns. I do have this weak pawn here. Oh, the queen retreats, alright. I think this is a good opportunity to go after that a2 pawn. They're threatening to double up on the open file. In retrospect, that was a bad move because now my rooks are separated. Oh. This nets me the a2 pawn. This seems like a 1 endgame for black. I'll defend this one because I want to keep the integrity of this structure. They can't take this pawn. It's protected by the rook here, threatening mate if they took. And now, can I defend this pawn? I don't think so, but I can attack this one. So it'll be an even trade if they take. Don't see any good moves except for that one, although it is clunky. That lets them get behind the pawn. I don't know if that's bad for me. I'm going to stop their king from getting onto the E file and getting involved in the game. My plan is to get my king involved through here, and then escort my pawns up. I'm giving that one up. I still have one. I want to trade rooks now because this is a one endgame with the passed pawn over there. Extended passed pawn, I think they're called. This is just clear cut now. Is there any way to force a trade? Not now, but I can swing my rook over to the F file, blocking their king off. Of course, if they move onto the F file now, then I can force a trade and it's won. My king up. And promotion is inevitable. Make a time move. And this is the king and queen versus king mating procedure, where you get into a knight's distance from the enemy king, and then you mirror their moves. So if the king goes up and to the right, I go up and to the right, until they're eventually trapped on a little sliver like they are now, and then you move the king over and deliver checkmate. That was a good game. Right now the lead is Dynasty H. We don't get to play them yet though. We're playing Tota Giga. This is a 5+3 blitz. I think I managed my time well last game, although I wasn't really pressing for too much of an advantage. I was playing quite passively, just responding to all their threats. This is the fried liver attack. I play it in response to... Oh, okay. That's a blunder on black's part. Typically, either d7 to d5 is played, or there are other variations too, but Let's see here. Does bishop f7 check accomplish anything? I don't think it does. I think I'll just develop a piece. The knight isn't threatening anything. Oh, of course there I can't castle. I'll just block the queen. Now, white seems to have abandoned their king side, which I can take advantage of by attacking. Let's see. This doesn't seem like too safe of a position. I think I'll give the check. Chase after the king. Does my opponent have any immediate threats? They could go there with check. Should probably stop that. Maybe bishop to d5 if they play king c6. The thought of driving the king further away from safety. Any way I can finish them off? That gets rid of their threat, and I have threats along this diagonal. The threats of... I can go here and defend most of everything. It doesn't matter if they take that h2 pawn because of my attack on the enemy king. I'm looking at just advancing this pawn. This threatens mate. And they missed it. Alright, that one was a bit risky, I'm not going to lie. I feel like I should have defended more vigilantly against their attack on my king side. Of course, it didn't amount to anything, but if they'd played better, I could have been in more serious trouble. Right now, Dinah CH is playing against Nela S. Omjer in 4th place is playing a game. Tota Giga is not playing a game. JJB is playing a game. Jimbonda is not. JJJ3000 is not. Chess Dry is not. Or sorry, Chess Dry and Charlie Twister are playing. So that's everybody. Everybody's playing except for us and Tota Giga, who we just played against. Oh, it's JJJB. Anyways, the Sicilian. I'll develop my knight, playing knight c6. It seems, I think better there might have been knight to e5 with the double attack and still defending the f6 square. I think I'll do that. To defend, white will have to retreat with the queen to e2, and I like this trade. I can try and find a home for the bishop on e4, developing with tempo. It's unusual in these kind of systems. No, it looks like my opponent doesn't want that. I'm happy with a trade of queens here. Is there anywhere I could apply pressure straight away? Looks like bishop c6 pop out, attacking this pawn. It could be easily defended though. It could also be pushed up, which would cause us some troubles. I think better is... Actually, bishop c6, if they push, we can take their knight. If they take our knight, we can take their pawn. If they take our pawn, we can just take back. And then we're up a pawn in the trade, and we have attacks going. Although that wouldn't work because this is a skewer attacking both the bishops at the same time. So yeah, that wouldn't be a good idea. Instead I'm going to play e6. They retreat with their knight, probably trying to find a home for it on e3. I'm just going to play normally, casually developing. Looks like they might be trying to gather up some steam on the king side. Given that I have two bishops versus their two knights, or a bishop versus a knight, technically two bishops and a knight versus two knights and a bishop, but the inequality is the light squared bishop and the extra knight. I should be trying to open the position. I think a good way to do that is d5. If they push past, however, that wouldn't be opening it at all. This might be a good move. If they push, we can trade, which opens. I like that. It also develops my bishop. Oh, I could have just taken that pawn. That's my apologies. I could have taken that pawn moves ago. Really wasn't sharp of me. Neither was that. It's okay. A bishop for two pawns. This position could work. Their knight is pinned. No, it can retreat to here or here, which defends the bishop simultaneously. I may as well try and make use of my two pawns and push them up. Play this move. Oh, they pre-moved knight to b4. I think taking the knight might have been better in that situation even. I'll keep advancing. This comes with check. Play rook f to d8 because I may want this rook, for example, then on this open c file it could be useful as well. There's an argument for having a rook on the e file. to support this pawn if we want to push it up, which we do. I think I'm going to play this in preparation for pushing the e-pawn. It would give us double isolated pawns, but with our I'll give them a chance to unblock us. Oh, it did. If you can, you want to give your opponent chances to make mistakes, because as long as it's not bad for you, like G6, it's not necessarily a horrible move. It wasn't the most accurate, but it wasn't horrible. It just gave them the opportunity to make an inaccuracy. They defends the D1 square, they're blocking it, so I can't attack. And now you can see where a rook on the E file actually would have been useful. Say this C8 rook were over there, I would be able to push the pawn and support this one. That drops in another pawn. This looks overwhelmingly lost for white. I'll push the pawn to get out of the attack. Trying to get it to it, but I think it'll be too late by then, because a protected pawn on the 7th rank, or 2nd rank if you are playing as black, is worth the same as a rook, because a rook on its own cannot stop this formation. Even if all of these pieces were off the board, one of these pawns would promote. Oh, sorry, if these pieces were off the board, one of these two central pawns would promote. I think I'll just... If they take, my take back comes with check, and they're screwed. If they take here, I take with check, yeah. Just attacking the king, who seems to be running out of good squares. Now, do I even have to promote another pawn? It's probably the smartest idea to get the fastest win. Alright, ooh, looks like Dynasty H, we're playing against them now. Good old e4, e5, I'm a fan of that opening. I might consider playing the Ivan's Gambit. I believe that's what it's called. The idea being, after this series of moves, white has the center, and black's knight isn't here because of the extra tempo gained through the c3 move with tempo. Although, that seems too risky. It's probably safer just to play slower move, more solid. And there's a variation here where instead of playing bishop to d2 after the check, you play knight to c3, expecting knight takes. Oh, yeah, knight here, then expecting knight takes after the check. Expecting knight takes, castles, knight takes, 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 and then there's a nifty trap I'll show you. That's an inaccuracy. To think, oh, that's interesting. Takes, 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 rook to here, and I am up a pawn once I recapture this. Say, queen to e2 check, and then queen takes. So I think I like that series of exchanges. Yeah. That's as far as I can see. It's solid. Of course, they could play queen up there. Oh, or the bishop, right, defending. I'll just keep developing. They have these two isolated pawns. They don't have any safety on the king side. Oh, okay. I didn't see that one, which is unfortunate. I think I'll just take back. I was thinking of bishop to g5, but it didn't seem too solid. All right. We can simply castle, I think. Or no, of course not. We have to move the queen. Don't see any good as alternative to queen d2. Maybe queen to e4, although that's available. Then I'd have to retreat to b1. Oh, they retreated with the knight, letting the tension out of the position. I think here I'll just move my bishop up. I could try and defend the pawn. It seems like a bit of a hassle though. Yeah, after queen to f6, if I played bishop h6, queen to f6 just wins the pawn anyways. So I'll play bishop f4. I can try and attack the center by castling and moving my rooks up here onto the open files. And with black's king in the center of the board, that's a good idea. That's how I can take advantage of that inequality. Open up the position. Let's see. I'll attack the queen as its Zwischenzug before I castle. Queen here looks solid, although that does let me potentially put a pin on the queen with my rook. Queen here doesn't work on account of bishop to e5. Queen here seems fine though. Yeah, queen to e7. That's what I thought. I think I'll castle here. Do they have any threats? They don't have any discoveries on my queen because it's defended, and I can always take their queen with check if need be. If I need a emergency backing out situation, then I can do that. Looking to attack black's king, of course. Oh. Okay. So that tries to take advantage of my pawn there, attacking it twice. And I think I have to trade queens here. I don't see a good way to defend this pawn, unfortunately. My pawn might be leaving the board. And with it, my rook. Oh no. I can simply interpose with the bishop. Okay, we do have some pressure here. They attack the bishop, interesting. I'll move my other rook to the open file with check. And now I can take their bishop. Alright, that was misplayed by my opponent. This will be the last game that I talk about. Move the rook up and attack the pawn. If they try and push past, I'll just go here. That doesn't work actually. I'll push past myself. Then I have this threat. Or this threat. This one might be better, keeping the rooks active. Rook. Oh, that allows for a double attack. They can block it like that, but then one of these pawns is coming off of the board. And I want it to be this one, because this weakness is easier to exploit, I feel, than the doubled pawns, which means later I'll probably get rid of it. In fact, I can get rid of it right now. Then I can move my king up through here. I'll pre-move the recapture. They attack the pawn, I'll just defend it like that. Seems solid. Then here I'm going to try and activate my king. It isn't nearly as active as my opponent's king. Of course, I still have a knight that can throw in some checks on e2 and d5. They don't accomplish much, but they could serve to push the enemy king out, and then let me play f3, pushing the pawns up. I think this is just a simple double attack. It can go there, but anything I can do? I'll move the rook over here. Oh, I didn't see that. Alright, this is fine. I can take this pawn, and then try and block this one, although their rook is in front of it. This might be difficult to hold on to. I'm fine with sacrificing a knight for that pawn, I think. I can't develop that way because of the hanging pawns, so I'll move my rook here to defend it. Okay. Looking for ways to infiltrate the enemy position. Here we can trade. And this is 1. That same queen checkmating technique. Alright, thank you very much for watching. Please consider liking and subscribing, and I'll see you in the next video.